All right. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. It is Sunday, September 21st. One more day until it's Equinox Day. The vernal equinox is tomorrow, meaning equal day, equal night. So that is coming up. And just as an FYI, couple of quick announcements, please. I want to say that if you haven't seen it already, and I'm sorry, Jamie, I didn't mention it yesterday, but we posted up a testimonial with Jamie and Robert that you need to see. It is really, really good. And it's going to be part of an ongoing thing that we are doing with the testimonials. And again, I have a few requests, and I thank everybody for for doing that. So we will be working on that this week, and then start scheduling appointments. I've got some questions already in mind. I'm going to work through those. But if you do want to do a testimonial for Robert for Unlimited Wisdom, then private message me in the Unlimited Wisdom group. Just click on my name and then click on chat. Make sure that you and I can chat together, and you can private chat, direct chat with me, and then we will put it together. So we really, really appreciate it. It will also help this group grow. And we're getting there. We are moving very quickly, and we're going to be a force in the school communities. Unlimited Wisdom will be a force to be reckoned with. So just wanted to let you know about that. And also, Robert, do you want me to make the announcement right now with
Yes,
everybody who's
please,
come on?
please, please, please.
Okay. I know that what we've done is we have we tentatively scheduled tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for a 16 personalities group chat, a special one.
Tomorrow night.
No, oh yes, tomorrow night. I'm sorry. It was scheduled for tomorrow night. Correct. We're going to move that over to Wednesday, if you don't mind. Same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We had a little brief discussion to people who were on board here earlier prior to it. And that's so that everybody can be involved, because starting tomorrow night is Rosh Hashanah, and those who are following the Jewish faith will be probably away that night, tomorrow night. So everybody will be here on Wednesday, the 24th of September, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then we will do our 16 personalities special live event. So thank you very much for allowing us to do that. And before I introduce our master as part of our master's mind, I got to tell you, the vibe of the day, Robert, that Terry shared with us for today was a perfect Sunday way to get started. So if you'll indulge me, I want to read this and then we'll get things rolling. It said, "Happy Sunday. Today is a gift, a new day waiting for you to write your story. May God's blessings fill your life with love, joy, and success. Wishing you a restful, peaceful, beautiful day."
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Hi,
So
Jamie. Hi, Jerome. Hi, Michael.
thank you all very much. We're going to see what the master has to say as part of the master's mind. So let's get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Robert Hollis.
Well, thank you, everyone. Happy Sunday, and thank you so much for those that jumped on a little early. And because really, I know there's other people of the Jewish faith, but that was mainly we wanted Craig. Craig does so much for all of us and the Hollis family. And when we announced that, hey, well, Craig won't be there, let's do it anyway. And right away, I was like, as soon as I got off there, it's like, now that needs to be corrected. Because I would move a lot of things just to get Craig in on the schedule. And another thing I would like to say that when I first came up with the thought of doing something on Sunday, the master's mind really has nothing to do with me. There's a lot of people out there that, I wanted to start this to sort of let people that had a belief of faith or, whatever their belief, learn to be able to capitalize on that. And so today, believe it or not, if you guys don't mind, I would really like it to be short. I paused Charlie Kirk's funeral service that's being broadcast live. And I was really getting into it. And one of the things that I think is very unique about, a funeral service is, everyone gets up there and what are they doing? They're telling their story about their friendship, with Charlie. Isn't it amazing? It's like, me, I'm not a death person. I don't like death. It was something that, I'll deal with that trauma. But the very first time that I ever went to a funeral, I remember that it was like everyone basically forced me to do it. It's like, I had one of my favorite aunts. Her name was Faye. Uh, she was one of the individuals in my family that was really super nice to me. So that's how you get the favorite status. And she unfortunately caught MS and died. And I remember just being forced to, to go to that. And they had an open casket. And I just was like, that's not my aunt. It shook me up so much that I just turned around and ran home, like probably 4 miles away from where I lived. And everyone really, really, I remember, just really gave me a bunch of grief about that. It's like, why did you leave? You should have been there to respect her, honor her last wishes. It was all these things again that we all really have difficulty in life trying to live up to other people's expectations. Do you guys ever feel that way? It's just like, all right, so this is how you're supposed to feel. It's like, I don't get that. I just really don't get that. So that also brings it part to Master's Mind. And my very best um, thing that I would love to share with each and every one of you is, first of all, through your imagination, is to try to discover what you believe that helper is. Sort of like I always bring this up with Mr. Roger. Whenever you're going through difficulty times, look for the helpers. You know what I mean? And there's some people that, don't believe that there's an outside force. And of course, for those of you that know me, I definitely do. So I want to start out by sharing with you guys a story and hope it touches your heart. And then I have something that I'll add. And if you guys don't mind, let's just call it a day. You know what I mean? So this story is about a lot of stories have to do with shepherds, and the shepherds are always out there with the sheep. And what the story is about is when the time of the year when all the moms are having, baby lambs. Unfortunately, just like a lot of animals, there becomes what it calls a bummer lambs, right? Now, a bummer lamb is just something that people don't quite understand, but it's all in the animal kingdom. But the mom just rejects the baby. So the mom rejects the lamb. And if the shepherd doesn't step in quick enough to get the lamb, once the mom rejects it, her total goal is to destroy it. Not a good story. So we've seen this through nature where it's like, not only am I rejecting, but I'm also going to kill it. So the shepherd gets the bummer lamb away. And then what they do, and we've seen this, if you guys ever seen it on any videos, it's just so heartwarming because you see these, someone taking care of a baby lamb and holding it and feeding it. You know what I mean? But wouldn't you guys agree that virtually any small baby, when I see Ezra, it's like, I get all these weird emotions with me. And of course, I did with my sons and also my grandsons. But so what the shepherd does is it not only feeds the lamb, but it also it turns out to be something way grander, because as the shepherd holds the lamb and feeds it, it talks to it. Is there something natural about how many people think it's so hilarious when you see people talk to their animals or their babies that, what do they call it? You got this baby talk? You're like, oh, your squishy little face, whatever you're saying, right? So as the shepherd raises these bummer lambs, these rejected lambs, and not only cuddling it, but also feeding it and talking to it. Now, when they get old enough to be able to not get hurt and put them back into the flock of sheep, that you can have literally hundreds and thousands of sheep. And when the shepherd can be far away and sees like something coming and he wants them all to come back, he can very simply just yell, sheep, sheep, sheep. And all of a sudden you see 100 or 1,000 sheep that all come to the shepherd. The ones that are leading the pack were the bummer lambs. The bummer lambs know the voice of the shepherd. They were held by the shepherd. They were fed by the shepherd, and the shepherd talked to them. So the bummer lambs that no one wanted, that everyone had rejected, end up being the leaders. Do you guys like that message? Because that message is something that I really resonate with. And so, so as a person, understand that you're encouraging words and your kind words and the things that you do to encourage people and tell them that they can do it and just encourage them. Just understand that that's how that happens. And so it wasn't by coincidence that I stumbled across this story because Ron Deering shared it with me, and I hope that he watches this. I'm sure he will. And then all of a sudden to see, all this craziness come with Charlie Kirk. And I'm like going, man, to have not only have, some of the most famous people on the planet to show up for your funeral, but, the president, the vice president, all the cabinet. And you're sitting there going like, they're saying that there's, there's going to be like 200,000. I know Arthur knows that city. So it's not only crazy to fill up the State Farm Arena, but then they also got the basketball arena right next to it that they're streaming to. And someone already said that this, just short calculations by streamers, that there's like, 3 to 4 million people that are watching this funeral right now. So they'll also get, and I only say that to say that whether or not you knew Charlie, or Charlie is like against you, or you don't like his words or whatever, the one common thread that I consistently hear is that people still believe, whether they disagreed with who he was, they all won his passion, his courage, his bravery. So I've heard people that totally disagree with him went, man, I wish I had his just his courage, just his braveness, his boldness. And so to end this, I want to share with you guys. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Star. So to share this, I had another thing that I just wanted to share with you. A lot of people hear all these different ways, and a lot of people sometimes have these multiple voices. You guys know I'm constantly talking about Dino, and there was even some people that were saying, hey, all my personalities will show up for the personality course and training that we're doing. Because people that will be willing to admit that they have these multiple voices, right? And you know what the number one thing I always hear, and it's in the same theme, is people always wonder, which voice should I listen to? Which voice should I trust? Which one should I ask and be confident of the answer? And most people say that because most people don't hear at all. Are you guys following me? So now they immediately, in their mind and their spirit, soul, whatever that is, they immediately go, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? On and on and on and on. And all I can tell you is that every belief on the planet, including non-believers, know that they wish they were more in touch with this voice that could guide them, get them to go the right direction, so on and so forth. And I can tell each and every one of you that that happens very simply by just doing. So whether you do it through meditation, whether you do it through prayer, every person out there knows that skills to do with your spirit, your soul, your mind just first need to be acknowledged, right? So I know people that, hey, I don't believe in that wonky wonk stuff. And I'm going, whether you believe in it or not, you're using it. And they go, what do you mean? And I said, you've never just felt like this thing that told you to do something like, hey, why don't you turn to right here? Or why don't you do this? And Bill Shoemaker, thank you very much for the donation. And some of you know that every day I know the fact that faith and me hearing from what I know as the master creator, the master imaginator, is it's very simple. You get that from reading and hearing the word. And when I talked about the bummer lamb, it chokes me up because I hear all the time. I hear on demand. I can ask any question about anything and get an immediate answer. And you know why? Because I spend time every day doing it. I dedicate time to doing it. So that's the same way you get good at memory. That's the same way you get good at intuition. That's the same way you get good at what I call discernment. If someone's trying to tell you something and you're wondering if they're misleading you or if they're a bad person, that whether or not you should buy something or take a course from them. How many of you know that there's some people out there that are not very trustworthy? And some of you might, like me, we're not perfect. You've given money to some people and then you find out that they were just there to rip you off. So, that's one of the ways, unfortunately, we learn is through mistakes, right? And so that's what I wanted to share with each and every one of you. So I was listening to Washed by the Word. You guys know that I share that all the time. And it's on roberthollis.com/gifts. And I was listening to Washed by the Word. And one of them just talks about all the scriptures that is found that has to do with abundance and abundance and not having to ever worry about anything that do with money, prosperity. And so I was listening to that and I put my headphones on, I close my eyes, I stay focused, and I had my computer on. And it said, I will prosper you. And as soon as that audio said that, my computer went cha-ching and woke me up. And I looked down and there was a little green thing that said Bill Shoemaker. And a lot of you would go, maybe that's just a coincidence. Not for me. Not for me. It's like, I'm listening and just letting go and getting in the moment, and money just drops down on me. And so, Bill, thank you very much for doing that. But I think that every one of you, regardless of your beliefs, would love to get answers to where you're going and what you're doing, and they be crystal clear. And it gave you a lot of peace. And then from there, it just goes from victory to victory, miracle to miracle to miracle to miracle to miracle. And I know some of you don't think maybe you can live your life that way, but I'm telling you right now, you can. You 1,000% be in peace and joy and love in your life, not worrying about anything, just going from victory to victory to victory to victory to victory. But it all comes from the same thing we know is the law of reciprocity, the law of reaping and sowing. You'll hear a lot of people that what I love about the laws of the universe is they apply to you whether you're a believer or not. So you take a non-believer and a believer, you put them on an 8-story building, and they both jump off at the same time, and they both hit the ground at the same time. It's like, well, one person believed and the other one didn't. It's like, it doesn't matter. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this message. Again, I don't want to keep you long. And I just want you to, if you consciously want to, me and my sons have talked about this from the time that, he could understand what I'm talking about. I've always loved science. I've always loved, people that invent things, people that look at the universe. And it's like, I had a thought today that, me and Matt don't agree on everything. But, I watched the video that Matt posted and Unlimited Wisdom. And, Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about this, and that everything is atoms. And as soon as everything become atoms and everything in us is atoms and everything, they went, wow, that's not a coincidence that the first being that was created was Adam. And I know all of you went, Robert is spelt different. Whatever. Atoms full of atoms. But that's the way my silly little mind that's in me connects things together. Like, oh, of course we're full of atoms. We're all descendants from Adam. We all got that genealogy. So I love each and every one of you. Don't ever forget that you're a miracle, that you're a flat out miracle. And I know, again, my goal is the more that I can get you to know that you're a miracle and believe that you're a miracle and love yourself, that as you become more of an individual that knows that you're put on here, the thing I want to talk about on Sunday, next Sunday, is you guys know the story of the talents. And if you don't know the story of the talents, is it's very interesting that each and every one of you, I believe, as a miracle that loves themselves, that if you worked hard enough on that, the one thing that you will find, is that what your gift is. And so when you find that gift, and then you're bold and confident enough just to continue to share that gift with other people, the rest of your life is going to be a miracle. But most of us don't have a clue what our gift is. And even if we did, we don't want to share it with others because we think other people will look at us stupid, includes the people that we love the most. And so when I look at Jamie, for instance, and, when I first met Jamie, he told me that he loved poetry. Here's this, guy. Why would he tell me that he loved poetry? That took courage and bravery, because most people would look at him and go, come on, man. But he's gone from telling people that he trusts that he's a poet. Then those people that love him ask him, really, would you like to share some with me? And he lit up like a light bulb and started sharing it with me. And now he's like sharing his poetry and poems to everybody. Now he's bold. Now he tells everybody about it. And so I'm proud of you, Jamie. And I can guarantee you guys, you can't, there's nobody in the world that once you find your gift and you trust that gift and then you share that gift with other people, there's no way that anyone can take your joy away from you. It's like you're running at, out of 10, you're running at a 12 because you're spending more moments of your life in your joy than you overthinking yourself, beating yourself up, and other people making fun of you. Now, all of a sudden, when someone says, what? Come on. And you're like, you just giggle and you go, yeah, isn't it funny? You just. So, Jamie, I'm proud of you. I'm really, really proud of you. So, let's call it a day. I love it. Love each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and be conscious of spending time and believing that you can hear that gift that you got, that voice that you have. There's no person that I've ever met that even through their success, they can actually say that they're non-believers, but they also know that thing talks to them. Pretty interesting, right? It's like most people never say that they believe in God because they're just scared of what other people might say about them if they did. So don't get caught up in all this craziness right now when you see somebody that does believe and everyone's trying to bash them. You know, I really truly know that comes from one place. You can't see a movement like that's happening around this guy. And for people that don't believe it, they don't understand how it's happening, so they're extremely jealous. You don't think they're sitting around? There was even one guy that was bold enough to say it. He's going, listen, everyone's making a big deal out of Jimmy Kimmel, but I got fired last week and no one said anything about me. Wow, I understand. I understand why they don't talk about you. How many people know people that is, well, what about me? It's like, instead of being grateful and happy and blown away by it happening to somebody else. If we all applaud each other and we all encourage each other, the people that applaud, encourage, and support and love each other, that will come back 100-fold. So, love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the message. Talk to you soon.
All right. And a reminder that tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, we've got recess. Tuesday and Wednesday, our daily wisdoms at noon p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, our special event Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a fun session with the 16 personalities. So if you have yours, please, let's get ready to share, because I know that we all have something to share about that. If not, go ahead and go to 16personalities.com. Take the test. It's interesting. It's worth looking at, and then it's worth seeing the interpretation of the test. And then, of course, Thursday is Breakthroughs, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we keep going. We love and appreciate you. Thank you so very, very much. There's a couple of things in the meeting chat if you want to save them. Click on the three dots in the meeting chat next to where it says Robert Hollis's personal meeting room, and then click Save Chat. It will download to your computer once we conclude. Thank you all again very much. Have a fantabulous Sunday, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then,
goodbye,
I'm going to
everyone.
unmute
See you, doctor.
so we can all say so long. Let's see, where's that?
See you, doctor. See you, Melody. See you, Tom. See you, Eric, Michael, Shelley, Jerome, Jamie, Arthur, Sandy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So long. Thank you, Robert.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Karen.
Greg.
Bye, Bill.
Bye-bye.
Bye, CJ.
See you later.
Thank you,
Take care.
Craig.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you.